In the dark stretch of the Appalachian Mountains, where the trees knot together like prison bars and the mist clings to the ground like it's hiding something, there are stories locals won't tell outsiders. Stories about things that watch from the tree line. Things that follow when you think you're alone. I used to laugh at them until I went camping there. Until something came back with me. This is my story of the demon that followed me from the Appalachian Mountains. It started as a weekend hiking trip with my friend, Jason. We wanted to disconnect from everything. No phones, no noise, no distractions. Just the two of us, our gear, and miles of forest. The first night was uneventful except for the silence. Not the peaceful kind, the heavy kind. The woods were too quiet. No crickets, no owls. Jason joked that it felt like the trees were holding their breath. Later that night, I woke up to the sound of faint humming outside the tent. At first, I thought Jason was awake, but the sound wasn't coming from inside. It was low, distant, like someone humming an old lullaby, and it circled the tent slowly. I froze as the melody got louder near my side of the tent, but when I gathered the courage to peek out, nothing. Just endless rows of trees and mist. The next morning, I told Jason, but he didn't believe me. He thought I dreamed it, but then he found something just outside our campsite. In the dirt, next to where I had been lying inside the tent, were prints. Not boot prints, not animal tracks. Bare footprints. Long, bony toes dug deep into the soil. And here's the worst part. The footprints were facing the tent. That day, as we hiked deeper, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every time I looked back, I swore I saw movement. A figure, always between the trees, too tall, too still. Jason brushed it off as paranoia, but at one point, when I turned suddenly, I caught sight of it. A shadow, human-shaped, lurking just beyond the tree line. I called out, thinking maybe it was another hiker. But it didn't move. It just melted back into the mist. By the third day, we stumbled across something strange. A small clearing, hidden deep in the woods. At the center were stones arranged in a circle, blackened as if scorched. Around them, crude carvings had been cut into the trees. Symbols I couldn't recognize, twisted stick figures with hollow faces. Jason, trying to act brave, stepped inside the circle. I yelled for him to stop, but he only laughed. That's when the humming started again, not from a distance this time. From all around us, the air grew thick, pressing on our lungs. And from the corner of my eye, I saw it again, tall, gaunt, shifting between the trees. We ran. We didn't stop until nightfall. That night, Jason finally admitted he'd seen it too. It was around 3 a.m. when I woke to Jason shaking me violently. He whispered, "Don't move." I listened. Outside the tent, something was dragging its fingers across the fabric. Long, deliberate strokes. We sat frozen as it circled the tent again. Then, a hand pressed down from the outside, thin, skeletal. Jason grabbed his knife, but before he could do anything, the hand vanished. Silence. We didn't sleep that night. At dawn, we packed up and left, practically running down the mountain trail. But it didn't matter, because the thing didn't stay behind. It followed us. At first, I thought I was imagining things. Back home, miles away from those cursed woods, I'd still hear humming late at night. I'd catch shadows shifting in the corners of my room. Then Jason called me. His voice shook. He said it was standing in his backyard. Tall, hunched, with glowing eyes. 2 days later, Jason stopped answering his phone. I drove to his house. The front door was wide open. Inside, everything was in place, except for the walls. They were covered in symbols, the same crude figures we saw carved into the trees. Jason was gone. Now, it's just me. I still hear the humming. Sometimes it's outside my window, sometimes it's behind me in the hallway. I never see it fully, only glimpses. a tall, skeletal shadow slipping into the corners. I don't know what it wants, but I know it's not leaving. So if you ever find yourself in the Appalachian Mountains and you hear humming when there should be silence, don't follow it. Don't investigate. And whatever you do, don't let it know you've seen it. Because once it notices you, it never lets go. That was my story. The demon that followed me from the Appalachian Mountains. If you're watching this, if you're listening, and you hear humming tonight, pray it's only in your head. Subscribe if you want to hear more stories like this. And maybe, just maybe, you won't hear the humming alone.